Welcome everybody to Uglypress Hairdressing channel. My name is Beto, creator and owner of Uglypress. Today we're working on Tish. We're gonna do a razor cut on her. It's a bob, so it's gonna be a really fun cut, something that she can style, or she doesn't have to style. It's a look that looks great, curly or straight. So right there, we're starting at the middle of the head shape. We took a central vertical section from forehead to the nape. We took about an inch subsection starting at the nape, and we were just razoring that haircut, just rocking that razor back and forth, up and down. So that way you were creating a seamless effect to the ends. Nothing too severe. It's a very soft edge. That's why we're using a razor. You can use scissors with this haircut. It's going to give you a more cleaner cut. So if you are looking for a much cleaner cut, definitely use scissors. For this one, we're using a razor. Like I said, I like a lot of movement. I want it to be real soft. She has a lot of hair, so the softer we can create her baseline at the bottom for this haircut, the better we are with it. A cleaner shape or a cleaner cut would work just fine. We would it would be a very structured look. This one we want a little more freedom with it. As always, I loved a real lived-in look with the haircut. So right there, I'm using the razor, and I'm just rocking the blade up and down to create a cutting method. You do not want to saw with the blade. With the razor, you do not want to go side to side. You want to go up and down. And earlier when I said side to side, I really meant up and down with the razor, going down the hair strand. Make sure you use a really sharp razor when using a razor cut, because if you have a dull blade, you will put too much pressure on the blade to cut to the hair, and sometimes that can cause you injury because you're putting too much pressure, and you could have more chances of slipping. Sometimes when you slip the blade, you don't want to slip it. Okay, that's dangerous. So make sure you use a sharp razor with the cuts. It'll make it a lot easier. Take the right amount of subsections. That way you're not getting too much hair. You're getting just the right amount that you can glide that blade just right. Right here we're working towards the sides now. Once you've reached the top of the head shape, or I'm sorry, the top of the ears, you can start taking your sections all the way from the back of the head to all the way towards the front hairline. And you're going to drop that hair at a 0 degree elevation. Usually when you're working with a razor, you have to elevate just a tiny bit just to clear the blade away from the skin. But I like to cut towards the face. I think that's a really good um, practice to get into. That way you can cut from uh, short to long or straight across. The choice is yours. Um, yes, we're moving on to the next side. You can see how my section goes from the back of the head shape all the way to the front, and you just take one section at a time. I'm taking about an inch subsection. With finer hair, you can take a little bit more of a section, a thicker section. Thicker hair, you want to take a little bit of a smaller section. That way, like I said, you can have your blade go through that hair while it's cutting comfortably and easily. You don't want to work too hard to try to cut that hair, because you do not want your blade slipping, or you slipping into a danger zone, so to say. The danger zone, right? Anyways, just going through there, we're working all the way from the front to the back, going towards the face, rocking that blade up and down. Now it looks like we've dropped all the hair, and we're continue cutting towards the face. I like to tilt the head slightly off to the side when I'm working around the face. That way, it gives me a chance to um, elevate the hair just a tiny bit to clear the skin. Right there, we're working on the bangs now. We have moved to the bangs. I went about an inch and a half into the hairline, and went from that inch in a triangular section, and going from corner of the eyebrow to the other corner of the eyebrow to the top of the head, using like a triangular section. And I am using, I'm taking caution on cutting the length, because when the hair's wet and you're adding tension, you're going to cut hair, and you have to remember that when it's dry, it's going to draw up some. So the hair's going to shrink a bit once it's dry. So I always like to leave the hair a little bit longer when I'm using the razor and I'm cutting hair wet, because I know that eventually I will go back after it's dry and kind of clean it up. Right there, I'm just kind of carving through the ends. I want structure, but I do want movement through the hair. That's why the blade, the razor, is such a fun tool to use when you're cutting. You want a lot of movement, a lot of freedom, you want shape without a whole lot of limitations in a way to say. That way you get a lot of movement. I'll stop saying movement. All right. There I am on the other side, rocking that blade. When you're working with bangs, there's 101 ways to cut a bang. You can cut it at a V, you can cut it asymmetrical, you can cut it straight across, you can cut it, you can do a little vamp bang where the center is a little bit longer than the sides. It's limitless. So you enjoy cutting bangs and you create as you please. And that's another, we can discuss bangs in full, in another video and get really deep into the different types of bangs. There I am. I'm parting the head at the very top of the head shape from the top of the ear to the other top of the ear. You could say it's a radial section. All that hair is hair that goes towards the face. It's hair that when gravity hits you, it's going to fall either forward or to the side of the face. So it's a good amount of hair to cut, especially if you're wanting to frame the face a little bit. Right there, you can see I'm kind of creating some layers. That way, it gives the hair some variation. Even though it is a bob and it does have a corner, I do want it to have some variation. I'm going through there and I'm just carving a few pieces there just to help the hair and encourage it to move around and make it a little bit seamless. That way, the hair can move any which way. We live in Texas and we have a lot of wind in this area, so for me, it's really important that a haircut can move with the wind. It can move with running your hands through it. So, and no matter which way it falls, it has a shape. It has integrity, and it can move around in many ways. It's not so cookie cutted, correct? Right there, again, I'm just kind of carving towards the face, kind of creating a C shape towards the face there. And I'm just kind of combing, making sure everything looks good, make sure the bangs are integrating. Now I'm going to move to the top of the head. We're going to create some layers at the top. Whenever you do a clean bob, sometimes when you lift the hair up at a 90-degree top of the head shape, you have a little corner. It kind of turns into a V, an inverted V. I am going through there and I'm elevating the hair at the top of the head shape, and I'm just going to carve that corner out. And that's going to give me a few longer layers. That way whenever she wears it curly, it's going to keep it from just bailing out, creating a bell shape on the bottom of her head. It's going to kind of divert and redistribute some of that weight throughout the sides and the back. So it's going to help it distribute it more evenly throughout the whole head shape. And she's going to get a little bit of volume out of it at the same time. Lots of movement. The hair's going to fall forward, backwards, sideways, and it's going to work just right for her. Right there, I'm going to go in there a little bit deeper, and I'm going to cut some off there. You kind of saw that. Now we're moving to the front of the face, and I'm using this little 1/2 inch to 1 inch subsection from where the bang is introduced all the way to the front of the ear. It's kind of like the little earpiece that falls right in front there, and I am integrating the layers that I created into the bang, and I'm just doing this really freely, not putting too much structure in it, but at the same time I do want it to integrate some. I don't want to have it so structured, but I do want freedom in it, and like I said, continuity throughout the whole haircut. So it's just a little earpiece in front of the ear that is going to help the bang kind of integrate back into the rest of the haircut. That way it's not completely on its own. And there you can see I'm just cutting down from the front earpiece up towards the bang real loosely, just kind of eyeballing it there, taking some of those hairs in. After you're done with that, we're going back to the back of the hair and just taking subsections, and I'm going to carve out V's through each section, just slightly elevating it and kind of going through there with a blade and carving out V's and really releasing the haircut and making it come alive a little bit more. Still a lot of structure, a lot of movement, a lot of texture, a lot of versatility. Um, Guys, thank you so much. I hope this video has um, given you a little bit of more insight on this bob that I created. And my name is Beto, owner of Uglypress. Just I'm thankful to the good Lord that I'm able to cut hair and do what I love every day. And I hope you guys enjoyed.